So Leslie, just want to talk about the maintenance around the time that you spend as a driller. If you had to go and do maintenance on a subby versus a typical turbine, how much extra effort is there for you if you've got a problem with iron bacteria?
So with a submersible, it's very easy to pull out because we put them on these lay flat these days. So the pulling out part is probably 2 pulls and the submersible's out. Against a turbine where every 10 feet, or we've got a coupling and we've got to physically undo that. When it comes to how much maintenance and why and how, well, as with the submersible on the lay flat expands and contracts, so the iron bacteria can't build up on that, so we haven't got an issue with iron bacteria building up on our rising main.
Yep.
If it does build up on the motor, when that motor's getting too hot, it shuts it down, tells you why, tells you the reason why it shut down. The farmer rings you, or well, they can do that themselves, to be quite honest with you. They could pull a submersible out with their bag lifter themselves. Gurney off the motor, put it all back in. With the turbine, I've got to call it out in at least 10-foot lengths, put it all out, clean all them columns up, which is not all that easy, against the submersible where the job's all done in a couple of hours, it's finished with.
Why does that cause a problem with it overheating?
Well, because the iron bacteria builds up on the motor, and the motor relies on the water running past the motor to keep it cool.
So we've got a restriction.
So it can't, it's like putting a sheath on the side, outside the motor, and the water's not cooling it. So yeah, very easy fix, just pull it out, clean the rust off and put it back. It's not a hard thing. It's not, it's not a terminal thing. It's just if you put the sub monitor on, of course.
Yeah, so that could be a great fail safe to warn you that you've got problems taking place underground.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
As well as the obvious one above ground, which is if you know how much water your pump is putting out clean, and you're running a certain number of cups, when you come back by say 5 or 10%, you know that you're getting a building up of the problem.
Yeah, and then to let that problem prolong or keep going seems to make it harder and harder for us to get the ball back to where it was at the start. If you were to say, well, we say 5 drills, it cuts back 5 drills. If you were to wait 15, it's very hard to get that ball back to, because there's just so much iron build up and it's so hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
But if we do it after 5 on a permanent sort of a maintenance program, well then we can tend to keep it back and keep it at bay.
So a regular maintenance program, once you see it drop back a certain amount, allows you to get back towards full capacity better than letting it go too long.
Yep, exactly. Okay. And just remember, a submersible also allows that farmer to possibly even do that maintenance himself.
Yep.
Where with the turbine, that gets a little bit harder because you've got to have a set of chain tongs. It's a bit physical. That initial growth of the iron is still on that rust, so it tends to grow back quicker. If you really want to do that job properly, you should pull it apart and gurney them all out, sort of thing. So.
There's still the internals of the pump, however. Yep. That needs to be considered.
Not every time, but there's going to be maybe every 2 or 3 times you need to pull that pump apart. But if it's only a single stage pump or a 2-stage pump, it's a couple-hour job.